playing. Okay. This is Martha with the Down Syndrome Network of Greater Greensboro. She's the president. I'm Amelia Mattocks, and I am a postpartum and birth doula here in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we're here with our kiddos today. This is Fern, and this is Javier. And so, thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. And so tell us a little bit about what you do with the Down Syndrome Network.
So I'm the board president of the Down Syndrome Network. We're an entirely volunteer-run organization that works to promote awareness and acceptance of and to advocate for individuals with Down syndrome and their families in the Greater Greensboro area and beyond.
Good. That's a lot. That's a lot. It sounds like you're doing a lot. So what does advocacy look like?
Advocacy for us looks like a lot of different things. We do have a medical outreach commission that works closely with Women's Hospital, with OBGYN offices in the area, and recently with doulas. You're the first one. To work on updating information that new and expectant parents get when they get a pre or postnatal diagnosis of Down syndrome. We also have an educational outreach commission. We recently met with the new Assistant Superintendent of Special Education for Gilbert County Schools and talked to her about some of our concerns and hopes for what she'll be doing with the Special Education Department or the Exceptional Children's Department at Gilbert County. We also go to statewide advocacy days in Raleigh, mostly set up by the Triangle Down Syndrome Network, which is our largest Down Syndrome network in North Carolina. And we're involved in the Buddy Walk on Washington, which is the National Down Syndrome Society's annual day of advocacy on Capitol Hill. So that's the advocacy piece.
That's a lot of advocacy. And so I want to step back to what you were talking about, new and expectant parents. Some of that advocacy work around doctors' offices, working with other healthcare providers and health services, people who provide support for people who are either pregnant or have already had their baby. What is so important about that communication with those providers and their families?
One of the things that we've learned over the years is that most of the time when people receive a pre or postnatal diagnosis, it's not exactly a pleasant experience. A lot of times they're told, moms are told without their partners, or they're told in sort of chaotic circumstances. They've just had a C-section, their child has just gone into the NICU. We had one family that found out through Google that their child had Down syndrome. Somebody mentioned trisomy 21 in the room. So what we work to do is to provide better information and more joyful information than what they're getting typically in a doctor's or a hospital setting. My own diagnosis, I had a prenatal diagnosis at 14 weeks, was not horrendous. My doctor was wonderful, but she happened to have given 3 other Down syndrome prenatal diagnoses during her career, so she had a little experience and had gotten a little feedback. And we find that the more OBGYNs and pediatricians know about how to give a diagnosis, the better they do and the better the outcomes are for families.
Oh, that's really great to hear. And that, I think, is so interesting because you and I have very different diagnosis stories.
Yes.
Martha received her diagnosis very early in her pregnancy, and we didn't receive a diagnosis at all until Fern was born. And even then we had to wait almost 3 or 4 weeks because she was born at home.
Right.
But we knew the day she was born that that we were looking at doing the genetic testing.
Yes.
She had some markers when she was born, low muscle tone, just some things she had heart murmur, so some things that were kind of some indicators that we were going to need that genetic test so we could make sure that she was getting the right services. And I will say that our midwife was amazing about all of it. We got up out of our bed here at home and we went to the hospital and she went with us, and it was really amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But like you said, not everyone has as pleasant of an experience. I can't imagine sitting in the delivery room and someone just like over in the corner just saying trisomy 21, and they're like, what is that? And then having to look it up yourself.
Yeah, that's one of the worst ones, but there's some pretty difficult diagnosis stories in our network that I've heard.
Yeah, and same. And Martha and I are so lucky we've known each other since before we had kids.
I know.
We've known each other for a long time, and we just so happened to then have kids with Down syndrome.
I know, which was kind of great because it made us reconnect a little bit.
I know.
Yeah.
It really was. So tell me a little bit about what the Down Syndrome Network of Greater Greensboro does for families who have either received a prenatal diagnosis or those who receive their diagnosis after birth.
We have pre- and postnatal diagnosis bags that are stuffed with information, books. We have a few little gifts in there we target them towards either prenatal diagnosis, a postnatal diagnosis, and especially postnatal diagnosis for families that already have a sibling in the house, because that can be a big transition for siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So we include in all of them a book of family stories written by 6 of our local families about their diagnosis, about their birth experience, about what things are like having a child with Down syndrome. We include a list of resources that their family will probably need. The CDSA is one. We talk about different therapy providers and that kind of things that people know about them. We're working on revamping some of our materials now because our new project is the STAR, which is we want people to know about that and get involved in it quickly because it will help people to have a community more quickly and also to access therapies.
So tell us a little bit about the STAR.
So the STAR stands for Supported Therapies and Recreation, and it's an office that we have on College Road near Guilford College, and it's open now. It's not as open as we want it to be in the future, but we're going to provide free therapies, recreational and social events, vocational training, tutoring, basically as much as we possibly can for any individual with an intellectual or developmental disability who would like to access it. What's up, Burley?
What you need? Did you figure it out?
I think you got it under control.
It
was just in the wrong spot. We're teaming up with CATS Therapy with a local after-school child care center. We're working with a whole bunch of different agencies from all over Guilford County to get this going, and we're going to keep everything there free because, as you know, having a child with special needs can be expensive.
Very.
And we're working to make it really fun too. We had a sensory dance party recently, which was my favorite event we've had there. With those water beads.
Oh yeah.
We had a swimming pool full of them, and like all kinds of like shaving cream and whipped cream for them to dive in, and then music and lights. Of course, it was so much fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
I don't know how we missed that, but
Really amazing. I think that y'all were out of town.
we must have been out of town.
Yeah, you've been traveling a lot lately.
So, obviously, you're inspired by your son. Is that right?
I am.
Can you tell us a little? Would you mind telling us a little bit about Javier and what y'all do together? Huh?
Well, Javier, my day job is I'm a preschool and lower elementary school dance, tumbling, yoga teacher. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of that together, and Javi loves to dance, and he will rock out to any song that you put on.
I saw you guys at the Grasshoppers game.
It was yesterday. That was so fun.
It was so good, and he was out there dancing away with everybody else. Wonderful.
Yeah, he is. I've always tried to be fully inclusive in my dance classes, but he has really inspired me to go for that and advertise to the IDD community because I want these kids to know that they can come and they can be a part of this.
Right.
But he loves to dance. He's fully included in a church preschool where he's been since he was about 4 months old. His favorite things right now, he knows the whole alphabet. And he likes to count to 10. So if anybody needs a little letter recognition or somebody to count to 10 for them, he is the guy for the job.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And he's the light of my life. He's so much fun, and he makes me so happy every day.
That's wonderful. And I know that we'll get questions. So do you mind telling us how old Javier is? Did you say it already?
Javier, how old are you?
4. He's 4.
He just turned 4.
Yes, and Fern is 3.
Yeah,
she just turned. They're almost a year apart.
Yeah. Like that little shit.
And she had her birthday at the Star.
Yeah, she did. That was a lot of fun.
We were really lucky. Which don't let me forget, I've got money to give you.
Oh, that's not why I came over.
People wrote checks. They gave some donations for the Star. I know it was really great. So I want to make sure too at the end that we make sure that everybody has the contact information if they want to give to the Down Syndrome Network and or the Star.
Right.
They have that contact information. So what What do you think you've learned, or in your work, either with Javier or working with children in general, that has strengthened you in your professional life or in your personal life? What do you think?
There are so many lessons. I'm not sure I could get to all of them. The thing that So I started actually working with children with special needs in middle school. We had a self-contained classroom when I was in 7th grade, and I got mad because the kids in that class were not allowed to go to lunch with everybody else in the cafeteria. They ate in their room, and I felt like that wasn't fair. So I staged a sit-in with 7 of my friends, and we went and sat in their classroom every day during lunch until the principal was finally like, if you can get them there, they can go. So we would take these kids down to the cafeteria, and that just kind of... that small success, you know, and seeing how happy it made them to be included just for that small part of the day. And this was the 90s, like it was a totally different world for developmental differences. But having that happen really showed me how much you can get done if you just don't give up.
Yeah.
But I've learned it so much more through having my own child, you know. I mean, we've gone through about every difficulty that you can go through having a kid with a developmental disability. We've had to fight for medical stuff. We've had to fight for services. We've had to fight to keep him in his school because of some of his medical issues. And we just don't give up, and then we get what we want. And I've never been I've never been a really strong-willed kind of a person until he was born, and now I'm like, I will go through hell to get
it.
It
Totally does change you.
It really does.
You know, I was already a health educator and had a lot of experience with folks who have disabilities, and you know, so when we had Fern, we weren't that shocked or surprised, or with the idea of you know, raising a child who has a disability, but it definitely changes you. And
the better.
And she was our third, so that was just kind of added to the wackiness around the house.
Your house has always been a little wacky, but I love it here.
So, anything else you would like to share as we start to wrap up here about either the Down Syndrome Network or contact information?
Yes. We would love for you to contact us. We're working on getting an office phone, but my cell phone number is 252-230-6163. And you can contact us at dsngginfo@gmail.com or martha.chairs@gmail.com. Or dsngg.org. Sorry about that. The new email address. I'm working
Okay, great. We'll have all that contact information available for our viewers.
And if you'd like to come out and be part of the community, we have just scheduled our Buddy Walk. It's in October of this year, and that is our biggest event of the year, which is so much fun. We can always use walkers or volunteers, and it's a big part of an international celebration of individuals with Down syndrome and their families. It's also our biggest fundraiser of the year.
And it's loads of fun.
It's so fun.
It is so fun.
It's so fun.
Can you tell the date?
I can't remember. But I will send that to you. Maybe you can post it.
Yes. So she'll send me the date, and I'll make sure that the date is either on the end of the video or in the comments.
And we have a surprise theme this year, so it's going to be.
Gosh, I cannot wait.
Better than ever.
I can't wait. It really, the Buddy Walk is so much fun. There's a dance party, and there's bouncy things.
So much food.
Lots of food that is included with your registration, and you get a cool T-shirt, and it really is a lot of fun. And
don't be intimidated by the walk, because it's a meander.
Oh, that's right. It is.
It's 1 mile meander.
1 mile stroll through the woods. It's really lovely.
It's a lot of fun.
It really is. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the work that you're doing and for coming and speaking with us today. And thank you to Javier. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to Fern. And we'll see you around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Can you say goodbye?
Say bye-bye.
Bye. You want to say goodbye?
You say bye-bye?
Say bye-bye.
Not different.
You want to say goodbye over there?
Can you
Point to the
say
camera.
bye-bye?
There's the camera. Bye-bye.
You give a besito.
Bye-bye. And a kiss.
That's what we're best at, is kisses.
I love it.